Right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Caffeine. Alright, what's up? It's funny, I was like chatting with one of my buddies on Discord, Bill Meister, up in Romania, and he asked me if if when I drink coffee, do I drink like the espresso mini shots or do I do the American thing, which is drink that giant fucking mug of coffee? I'm like, you know what, I didn't think about that. You know, growing up, like, as an American, you go to 7-Eleven, you get the big fucking gulp. You go to Carl's Jr., you get the extra large drink, and then you refill it before you leave the fucking restaurant. I don't know, I guess I'm used to drinking big drinks. That's a thing, but I like my big coffee. It's like, I'll start drinking this at 8 and 9 in the morning, and then like, I just sip throughout the fucking morning until like 1 or 2, and then I'm done. I like to savor the fluids in my mouth. Girls. Welcome back to Talk to Me Tuesdays. This video is going live March 18th, 2025. I'm answering last Tuesday's comments, so if you want me to answer your comments or questions for next Tuesday, leave them in this video, and yeah, I'll chat with you. I'll respond to you next Tuesday. You know, help me keep the conversation going. I appreciate it. This question is from Scotsman. Scott here recently came back to America. He's on my Discord. Welcome back home, my friend. Appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna try something different. I'm not gonna like read out the question because like you know, I noticed that like the more questions I have, the more I read them out, the more time it takes. So I'm just gonna highlight them or certain sections of the comment. That way, you know what I'm referring to, and you can quickly read over it. You know, but I'm sure you can get the gist of it. You know. So I'm gonna answer like the first part of his comment here. Do I calibrate my video monitors for editing? The quick answer to that is no. I never calibrated a monitor. When I started working for Paw, I had an iMac Pro, you know, one of these all-in-one built-in monitors by Mac, where it's like, you know, all the computer parts are in here, right? Just basically the housing, and then you got a giant screen. So this is basically a laptop with a giant screen on the side. The best way I could describe these things. These are cool. The only thing is like these get really fucking hot. The way how these things are designed, the housing on the back is like a giant piece of like aluminum or whatever. But yeah, these things work as a heat sink, right? So these things radiate so much heat. It sucks, right? The other thing is that when I started working for Paul, he noticed that like my footage was coming in and out very green, I believe, and like he didn't like it, and like he told me basically that most likely it had to do with my monitor, and he was right. I'm pretty sure their technology and their products got better in the sense of materials, but my Mac actually, like, the glass got old and it kind of yellowed. So when I was editing Paul's videos, I was very yellow, so I was adding like more greens, kind of like to combat the yellow in a way, or to make it more neutral looking from my end. So I didn't realize that it was because of like the glass itself, it looked bad, right? So yeah, there is importance to make sure you get a monitor that's color accurate to give you a better visual representation of what you're doing, right? I actually do have a 4K color accurate monitor at standard RGB. I never went through the process of color correcting or color whatever. The thing is that like in my room in particular, throughout the day, I mean right now I have the sun hitting me through my blinds. In the afternoon, obviously the color is different. Then at night I have like this stupid light on top of me that I have on. So throughout the day, like the color in my room change. So it's kind of pointless for me to be adjusting the fucking monitor throughout the day to make sure I get color accuracy. You know, if like, the room was more like consistent throughout the day in the sense of lighting that doesn't change whatsoever, then I guess it will make more sense for me to calibrate my monitors because everything's gonna be the same. So that way I can make sure I get a better image quality, but that's not my situation, so I don't do that. And his final part of his comment here is that if I was to get a laptop for video editing, would I sacrifice built-in monitor quality for a second monitor that is more color accurate, or I can color calibrate myself? Yeah, look, in regards to editing, I strongly encourage you guys to get a ultra wide monitor. 2K is fine. If I didn't have these 4 monitors and I only had the choice to have one monitor, I'll definitely go with a ultra wide. Especially when you're editing, having a long timeline does help massively. Also having 2K is really good because you can set like the monitor to be 100% scale resolution, right? So when you're working on a 2K monitor, sure, your text might be a little bit smaller because you're on a 2K monitor instead of a 1080p. You still have enough information to see what's going on in the sense of like you can read the menus and the commands or whatever, right? In a 2K monitor, but you have more space to expand your timeline, so you can have more like you know, desktop space to work on. So yeah, if I get a laptop for editing, I'm definitely would invest in getting a second monitor, but it'll be for ultra wide, and I'll be editing off that. Then the screen off like the laptop itself, or rather like just use it as extra, desktop space for whatever. All right, thanks Scott for the question, appreciate it. All right, next question is from John Cripps. The first part is basically he's talking about a movie that I was suggesting last time. It's called Meet the Feebles. It's about a Muppets, and I don't know, I guess it's a very adult-oriented movie. It's definitely on my list to watch. The second part of his comment here is like, have I ever considered going after a movie editing gig? If not, have I considered it? Yeah, I have mentioned this before, so I don't, but I'll just be quick about it. Yeah, originally that's what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to work in movies, specifically a VFX artist. That was my goal. I was learning After Effects, doing a lot of visual stuff, I really wanted to become a VFX artist, and I was like slowly getting into like 3D work, right? Specifically Cinema 4D. I was already like doing visual effects kind of things. I was learning how to do it before I went to school, around 27. By the time I got out of school and started working with Paul, I was around 32 or so. And then like, I don't know, I got to a point where I had to like make a decision. Either I could become a better editor for Paul and continue working with them, or I could continue working with my my goals of becoming a VFX artist and like just, use Paul as like a side hustle until I get my job, right? Obviously I decided to stay with Paul and I completely stopped working on my VFX stuff, right? I think that kind of like answers your third part of your comment here, is that if I was to like construct a roadmap to like get to reach my goals and to work in a movie studio, how would I go about it, hypothetically? That, I mean, if I really wanted to like become a VFX artist and work for a studio, when I started working with Paul, I guess I could have used him as side income until I continue working for other studios, right? That's how I would have done it if like I really wanted to. But yeah, like I said, I got to a point where I had to like make a decision. Either I can continue studying to become a VFX artist to work for a movie studio, or I can just work for Paul. In that position, in that situation, I had to make a choice. I decided to work for Paul because like I was happy. He was a good guy, we became good friends, and like yeah, he's a very helpful, yeah, I don't regret my decision. I really like working with him. It's been great. This one's from TJ7826. And in that last video, somebody asked me about building a PC on my channel, this one, and I said I'm not too interested on that, but I do like to cook, and I can possibly make a cooking video just for shits and giggles. That's basically what TG's asking me here. It's like, a cooking video would be cool. What do I like to cook? No, I grew up in a household of a family of four. My mom, dad, sister, and me. I'm the oldest. My sister's the youngest. So there were times where like my dad had her work late. My mom, she also had her work, her side hustle. My sister was young and I was the oldest, so I had to learn to like cook for the family sometimes, right? So I learned to cook random shit, little things, maybe spaghetti or just, maybe nothing too fancy, right? So cooking is nothing new to me. But now when I cook at home, we actually have things planned out depending on what's the time of the year. During the winter times, I cook a lot using the oven, or I make stews, I let something simmer. I like making my own chicken noodle soup. So like, if we go to Sam's Club and we get a rotisserie chicken, I'll save the bones. Then like, I'll simmer the bones all day to get like the broth, and then I'll make chicken noodle soup. I do shit like that. I have baked meatballs to make spaghetti, or we make hamburgers in the oven, do like a reverse sear kind of thing. We also like using like the slow cooker, to throw in meats or just food that could take all day to cook, and then by the afternoon like it's ready for us to eat. So it varies. I guess to answer your question, basically like the simplest shit possible to cook. For the most part, we try to like find recipes that just takes maybe 5 ingredients or something or less, nothing too complex in the sense of like using multiple pots and this and that. That's kind of like my style of cooking, which kind of matches my editing. If I want to cook something, I make sure that it's a type of food that can only use one pot. Instead of like using multiple pots or pans or whatever, I throw everything in one skillet and cook it there, and then like I'm good to go. Then maybe just chop up some veggies on the side to go along with it. But yeah, so anything you can think of that we can cook in one pan or one pot, that's basically what I cook. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Fuck, because that's just how I roll. Again, Scottman's responding to Jerry's Tech. Yeah, he does laptop content. Yeah, I like his content. Middle of nowhere. he asked me a question about like doing like a render tutorial kind of thing, like how does rendering work and this and that. And yeah, as I make this video, that video actually came out yesterday. Yeah, I'll put this video in the description. I already made a video giving you a tutorial how to like render out higher quality videos and why. And I gave you a side-by-side comparison of like using a preset built into DaVinci versus creating your own preset, using additional options available inside of DaVinci Resolve, and I show you why it's the benefits of rendering at a higher quality, right? But yeah, for videos like these, it doesn't really make much sense to render at a higher quality. I use the presets all the time for my basic videos like these. The only time I tend to use higher quality settings is when I do my gameplay videos, because they a lot is going on, particles and stuff like that, so certain details can get lost if I render at a lower quality, right? So gameplay videos, they get a higher render quality, and my tutorials that I do every now and then, they also get a higher quality render, because I want to make sure you guys can see the screen and the text or whatever, you know, without being too visually strenuous, right? Thank you so much for the comments and questions. I appreciate you guys helping me continue the discussion. So yeah, leave more comments so I can continue the discussion next Tuesday. As a friendly reminder, feel free to send me an email. I'll be more than happy to send you an invite. You can chat with me there. I'm on that thing a lot. I have a lot of fun with it, so it's definitely just a total hangout. Sorry, playing Helldivers. If you guys are interested, it's a fun game. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.